video multiple times. Okay, guys, so I started recording. All right, so let's go back and see what I did. All right, so first, let me write the number again. I have -4 plus 4i times 3 plus 2i. So let me do it step by step. Step number one, I'm going to do it in two different ways. Step number one, what you do first is the first number here, and I'm going to write step number one in red. So the first thing that you're going to do is multiply -4, which is this number. This number needs to be multiplied by this number and by this number. Okay, but in an addition, like -4 times 3. Okay, that's the first thing. Then you need to add plus -4 times 2i. And then you multiply this number. So you do plus, and remember here you have a negative and a positive and a negative sign. We'll talk about that later. So here then when you finish with this number, you start with the next number. So plus 4, so parenthesis, 4i times 3. Okay? And then you do the other number, plus 4i times 2i. Okay, and we're done here. Now we need to, that's the step number one, to do this number times this number plus this number times this number. Always put a parenthesis so that you don't mix up the signs. Then this number times this number, then this number times this number. Okay? That's step number one. Step number two is to simplify them. So now you just need to remember arithmetic, like signs, okay? So a negative sign times a positive sign. And remember, whenever you see a number without a sign, it has a positive sign. So negative times positive equals negative. So -4 times 3 equals -12. Okay? Then you have this one. You have a negative number and a positive number. So -4 times 2 equals -8. So, all right, so -4 times 2i equals -8i. All right, next one. So I did this one, I did this one. Now I'm going to go and do this one. 4i times 3. Both numbers here are positive, so the result is going to be a positive number. All right. And here, 4 positive times 3, I have 12i. All right. And finally, 4i times 2i, I have 8i squared. Because this number, remember, like this is basic algebra. Whenever you have whenever you multiply two letters, the same letter, what you really do is you have the letter here, you add the letters, you add the exponents, sorry. What you do is this has 1 and 1 here, and you add this 1, and then you'll have a squared. So that's what I did here. This has it's raised to the first power, and so what I did is 1 plus 1 equals 2i. So this is basically a basic algebra 1. All right, so now that you have all of this, You can further simplify. I think in the first time that we did it, I probably messed up one sign. So this is good that we can confirm that this is true. I'm gonna do two in two different ways. Now, step number 3, I'm gonna color code it with a different color. Step number 3, simplify what you have here. So, or you can just write it as you have 12 here. This you can add this one's 12 minus 8 equals 4. So positive 4i, positive 4i. And this one, this is what you really need to remember. You need to remember that I squared equals -1. That's something that you need to memorize. All right? I squared equals -1. So you just substitute it by -1. And you've like step number 4, that's the final step. Final step. What you need to do here is here we can just minus 12 plus 4i minus 8 minus 8. Remember, negative number times a positive number gives me a negative number. And 1 times 8 is 8. But since it's negative, it needs to be -8. All right. So this step it would be to just add these two numbers. So -12 plus -8. Remember, whenever you have two negative numbers, you add them. That will be -20. And this you'll have 4i. That will be the result. Since we are recording this video, I'm gonna go ahead and clear it to do the second part. And then when I'm done with the video, I'll pause it and save it, and then you can ask me questions. All right, so let me go ahead. Remember, you'll have this video, you can pause it. I'm gonna clear this, and I'm gonna go ahead and do what I did the first time. So look, so you have, you don't have to write the parentheses here. You have -4 times 4i, and you have 3 plus 2i. Guys, this is basic algebra 1. If you're struggling with some basic concepts, you need to go back. You can do that on Khan Academy. You need to go back and review those basic concepts. So I just wrote it as if I were going to multiply it. So just know that I'm multiplying this. This is not a subtraction or anything. This is a multiplication. All right. So what I do here is the same thing. I wrote it like that so that it's easier for me to see. And then I can do 3 times 4 equals 12. Then 12 negative, 3 times 4 again, 12 positive, I. So I'm done with the first one. Then the second one, I'll do it on the second part so that the numbers are aligned. I'm done here. Let me do a different color. So 2i times -4, it's -8i plus 2i times 4i is positive 8i. All right, so I'm done then. And why I wrote it like this so that they're aligned and I can just subtract it right then. All right, and here you can always add a 0 to fill that gap, because any number any number added or subtracted from 0, it's the same number. So it doesn't really count. I just did it to help me organize my number. And you can do the same here. This is not needed, but you can do the same here, just so that you see that every number is in the same line. So negative, oh no, finally do this on red. Negative 12, 12 minus 12 positive minus 8 is positive 4i. All right, and here finally I have, I'm sorry, this one squared. I have I squared. Remember what I do. Whenever you have two i's here, whenever you multiply two i's, you're going to have a result of I squared. Two i's is the same as, remember, this one is raised to the first power. So what you do here is just add the exponents. Instead, you finally have this. That's how you got this number. So then here you can simplify. You cannot write this like this. Remember again, I squared equals -1. And so here what you do is 12 plus 4i plus 8. You substitute this by -1. So then here I'm going to continue. Well, I'll do the next one here. So 12 plus 4i plus, sorry, -8. So -1 times 8, -8. So these are steps that I'm taking. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3. Then I just add these two numbers. -12 plus -8 is equal to -20 plus 4a. That would be the solution of the problem, because they're asking you to write it like this: a plus bi, where this number is this number and this number is this number. All right, that's it. That's it for this video. I'm gonna pause it and